What's going on? Born for Sports, and we have come to the Knicks versus Pacers Eastern Conference Finals Game 6 post-game. For those who are new to the channel, I appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button, especially for Born for Sports. If you are a diehard Knick Nation, salute to you. Hit that subscribe. You're going to want to tune into this channel. Well, it is over. It is over for the New York Knicks 2024-2025 season. They have lost to the Indiana Pacers tonight. They were eliminated tonight by the Pacers 125-108. And they lost the Eastern Conference Finals, I should say, pardon me, 4-2. And we're going to get into why we lost this series. We're going to get into why we lost the game tonight. But I got to just start by saying, as much as I hate to say it, the Pacers were just a little bit better in this series, and Game 1 will haunt the Knicks until the summer is over, until next season. Everything changed on that Game 1 choke job down the stretch with the free throws and everything. And the Knicks were playing catch up for the whole rest of the series. They had a hangover in Game 2. And, Game 2, Thibodeau made bad decisions sitting Towns in Game 2 down in the fourth quarter, and it cost the team. But everything comes back to Game 1. They had that Game 1 if they just finished the job, and they didn't do it. They let their foot off the necks, and it cost them, and the Knicks just could not get over the hump. And tonight was the night they got sealed tonight. That's it. That's just basically what it comes down to. You give the Pacers credit. They found a way. They found a way to hold us off. We'll get into why we lost tonight. Knicks were not good enough tonight. Our stars did not show up good enough tonight. And, as much as I hate to say it, the Pacers was just a little bit better in this series, and it all comes down to Game 1. That's where everything changed. That was the turning point of the whole series. And, that's what happens. In the playoffs, you have to be ready to compete every single game and finish. And finish. And listen, the Knicks were good in this playoff run and finishing despite what the odds were, despite, the deficits that they were against. They had a tough series in that first round versus Detroit. They didn't play their best in the first 2 games, and they went on the road and got the job done out there in Detroit, and they figured out a way to win that series. Boston, they were down 20 in the first 2 games in Boston, and they didn't quit. They showed what this team is capable of doing when they are locked in, and they just had one game in the entire playoffs. One game that they will kick themselves the entire summer where they did not stomp the neck and bottom structures out, and they didn't get the job done, and it cost them. And that's the way the playoffs are, man. That's the way the playoffs are. When in the NBA playoffs, as the deeper you go into that playoff run, the more margin for error shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And the one game that they did not finish, it cost them the series. And the Knicks have to learn from this. And listen, it's bittersweet. I mean, I'm not pissed off to the point where I'm losing it. Like, fuck, man. Like, damn it. What the hell is wrong with us? It just because they gave us such great moments this postseason. They touched my expectation. You know what I'm saying? I expected Eastern Conference Finals. If you've been watching this channel and you've been watching me all season, I expected Eastern Conference Final when most did not. So, as far as expectations go, they met them. But it's just bittersweet because they could have did better if they would have just been locked in that Game 1. And, they're going to have to learn from this. They're going to have to learn from this, and they're going to have to figure out what went wrong and why it happened. And, it wasn't a perfect team. It wasn't a perfect team. They were a really good offensive team this year. They changed identities. They have a new core of players this year. And in year one, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I feel like that's a successful season. It's just bittersweet because there was an opportunity on the table to get a little further, and they just didn't finish the job. They didn't get the job done. And hopefully this motivates them going forward to learn from this experience and get the job done. Hey, folks, it's not easy to win an NBA championship. It just isn't. It's just not an easy thing to do. So when you have opportunities, you gotta go figure it out, and hey, first year with this core, limited bench, and they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Listen, there's some optimism to look forward to, but that's story for another day. Tonight, we're going to focus on what went wrong and why they didn't get over the hump. Let's get to the chat. Cliff checking in as always. What's good, Cliff? Appreciate you. Game one. Yeah, that's what it comes down to, bro. Game one turned this series a different direction. And, hey, let's be honest. The Knicks just had to play catch up from that point on for the rest of the series. And they just couldn't get it. The game two was the hangover from blowing that game. And it just all comes down to that. They show so many good things in this series. In my opinion, the Pacers play better. They outkicked their coverage. They play better than the Knicks for the most part in this series, but the Knicks show why they were the more talented star-heavy group. It's just the Pacers found a way to figure out that game one. That's what it comes down to. And on top of that, they just had a lengthier bench. That's what it came down to. They just had a lengthier bench. I mean, you could also make the case that was the prevailing thing with the team. Thibodeau, Coach Tibbs, he didn't go to his bench quick enough. He waited until Game 4 to trust his bench more than he should. But at the end of the day, we knew that this bench was not as talented as other benches in the league. And, they got to learn from this. Thibodeau has to learn from this as well. And listen, we know the deficiencies of this roster, okay? We know it. We got to get a little better defensively in our starting lineup, okay? We do. I think Mitchell Robinson showed that he is better suited for this current team, to be at the 5 with Towns at the 4 for the most part. Now, for the most part, I say, because I've always said it is matchup dependent. It is not something that you're going to do against every team. But in this series, I feel like he should have Coach Tibbs just should have went to it earlier than he did. But hey, it is what it is. It just was an uphill climb for the rest of the series. And going forward, the Knicks have to figure that out. They got to get better bench play. They got to get better players. They got to get rid of bum-ass campaign. Okay. They got to just do a little better there. And listen, Leon Rose has done a good job with this roster, and he'll figure it out. Let's go to we'll get more into that as far as the future goes. Danny checking in. My guy, Danny, salute to my guy, Danny. Yeah, tough one, man. Tough one. It hurts right now, but we got a lot to look forward to going forward. Don't let the haters tell you differently, y'all. Okay, Knicks Nation. Listen, Knicks Nation, I love y'all to death. Don't let the haters tell you different. This team is one of the elite teams in basketball, okay, right now as we speak, okay? Leon Rose built a really good team. It's just there's holes. There's no perfect team. There's flaws on every team. There's flaws on every team, including the defending champion Boston Celtics, okay? It's just a matter of it comes down to execution, coaching decisions, and your stars getting the job done in a playoff series. And the worst game that our stars had came tonight, and it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Shields up, checking in. Yes, sir. What's good, John? How you feeling tonight? Tough loss, G. Defensive inconsistencies, and they had Brunson on lockdown. Towns gave it all and left it on the court. Great run during the season, though. A lot of positives to look at. Yeah, I agree. I agree with all your points, bro. All your points were spot on. It was a tough loss. The defensive inconsistencies as well. Too many, and I just feel like the turnovers were really the biggest issue tonight. But the transition defense was not good for the most part in this series. And when you're playing a team like the Indiana Pacers, that's what they do. That's what they do. They want to get out in transition. They want to push the ball. They want to do those things because in half-court offense, they are not that good. They're not that good as they are when they are in transition. And it hurt the Knicks tonight. And when you're turning the ball over left and right, you're giving them too many opportunities, man. You just are. I mean, look at the 2 games that the Knicks won in this series, man. Even the game they should have won in game 1. The transition points, okay, in game 1 were not that bad until late in the fourth quarter and especially in the overtime, okay? The game, game 3, the Knicks did a good job in transition defense in that game, okay? Also, in game 5, the Knicks were 1 point short in transition. We held them to 16 points in transition and scored 15 of our own. The Knicks did a better job at that. When this team, you got to be smart with the basketball, and we just didn't do a good job of that tonight. We just did not do it, and it cost us. And when you're in that building in Indiana, okay, in that building, if you're playing sloppy with the ball, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you, and it did tonight. Also, I feel like I agree with you as well. Great run. It was a great run in this playoffs, but they just weren't good enough in this series to get the job done. And game 1 will haunt them the entire summer. Hopefully, this motivates us and they learn from this experience of what it takes to get over the hump. Because, folks, they showed they're one of the elite teams in basketball. They showed it this year. Okay? When everyone was saying, they can't be good teams. They're frauds. They're this, they're that. What did they do? What did they do, y'all? They went out there and they eliminated the world champion Boston Celtics, okay? And I don't want to hear about Tatum's injury, okay? They were down 3-1 in the series when they lost Tatum, okay? They were a better team, more consistent team in that series. They got the job done. This Indiana Pacers team, they didn't get the job done. And game 1 will haunt them. Instead of us talking about a game 7 Monday night against MSG, and MSG against the Pacers, I should say, we're eliminated because of that. And it just is, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And the Knicks have to learn from that. Okay, so there's a lot of positive take. I agree with you, John. Shields up. I agree with you, but hey, we'll see going forward. We got to get this bench right, man. We got to get this bench right. Danny says the turnovers were inexcusable. I thought they would have corrected that, especially for this game, but it bit us in the ass and cost us. No doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. And let's talk about it, man. Let's chop it up, man. Let's talk about it. These turnovers. I mean, they had 17, man. 17 turnovers on the road. It's not, again, especially against that team that a big part of their offense and execution is off transition. Again, I keep saying it. They are not as good in half-court offense, and they know that. Rick Carlisle knows what he has in that team, okay? Halliburton wasn't even the biggest factor tonight. And, you know, he walking in with his little funeral outfit. That fucking pencil neck geek had one great game in this series and hit a lucky shot in game 1, and it cost us. Whatever. But at the end of the day, he was not the best player on the floor most of this series. It was Siakam. It was Siakam. Siakam was the answer for the Pacers every time for the most part in this series. And he basically matched Towns for what we got from him most of the series. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give them credit on that. Siakam's a good player. He's a good player. I wouldn't call him a superstar. I wouldn't call Halliburton a superstar. I know there'll be people trying to run with that. Real ball heads know what it is. Good players, not superstars, but they outkick their coverage. They played more consistent in this series, and they figured out a way to win. And again, game one will haunt this Knicks team the entire summer. Because again, instead of a game 7, we are gone and we are out. And it has to be a lesson learned. It has to be a lesson learned in the playoffs. And that's what's frustrating about it, bro. It's like they show the Knicks in the Detroit series and the Boston series show that no lead is safe. No lead is safe in the NBA, especially in the playoffs. And you got to play 4 quarters every second, every minute. And they had more will to beat the Pistons. They had more will to beat the Celtics. But that one game, that one fucking game, bro, that they did not have enough will and took for granted, and the game itself in the balance before it was over, it cost them the series. That's today's NBA, y'all. That's today's NBA. There are no leads safe. You have to play 4 quarters, man. You cannot let up at any moment because it can cost you in the playoffs. And the Knicks have to learn from that. They have to learn from that going forward, man. And it's just unfortunate. The turnovers, they were bad, man, and it was wrong. Brunson had a lot. I mean, let's go to the stats, man. Let's go to the stats, y'all. I mean, let the turnovers, the 17 turnovers, man. Brunson, he had 5 turnovers on his own. Very uncharacteristic from him. But in this series, he had some games, but he turned the ball over a lot. Let's look at game 1 alone. He has 7 turnovers in game 1. He had a tremendous game offensively. He scored 43 in that game. And I love Brunson. As you can see, I rock Brunson all day, every day, baby. All day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Superstar, baby. I'm all for it. But I gotta call it how I see it. Okay. As great a game as he had offensively in game 1 when he had that 43 points, those 7 turnovers hurt. That's too many and very uncharacteristic from him. Very uncharacteristic. And that's what's crazy about it. In this game, I'll say the Pacer defense was probably their best defensive game they played the entire round. Okay, they really did. They played very well defensively, I'll say, as far as playing the passing lanes and everything. But a lot of that had to do with the Knicks just being so damn sloppy with it, man. They were sloppy tonight. They just were. And when you have no margin for error in a closeout game and you're trying to fight the force of game 7, that's going to cost you, man. It's going to cost you every time. And Brunson has 7 turnovers in that game 1, and it hurt us. Tonight, he had 5 turnovers. Bridges, 5 turnovers tonight. I mean, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Josh Hart, the previous 2 games, he was terrible with turnovers. He put numbers up, but he was terrible with turnovers. You can't do that against this Indiana Pacers team, because when you do that, this is what happens. 25 fast break points. That's the Pacers. They want to play fast. They want to push pace. That's how they win games. Carlisle knows this team is not a good defensive team. He knows that. They don't have great rim protectors. He knows that. So he knows he needs to push the pace. The best way to beat a team like that is you got to play smart, and you cannot give them more opportunities more than what they are to do that. And tonight, how many buckets did we see from the Knicks tonight after they get a bucket down the court and they give up a transition fucking layup down the other end? Can't win games like that in the playoffs, folks. You can't do that. You can't. And it costs the Knicks tonight, man. They have to tighten that up next year, man. They just have to. All right, we're gonna bring it in. Corey, you got your moment in the sun. Hey, goodbye. Okay, that's cool, bro. Listen, it is what it is. Here's your favorite moment of your life. The Knicks lost tonight in the Eastern Conference Finals, while your Nets are ass and have nothing left to do. They suck. Again, we come to the point of the program to address Net fans. I call them the Pez Nets. The Pez Nets fans, because y'all peasants to us. We don't even think about y'all the way y'all think about us, whatever. So let's recap. No, you didn't win the lottery. No top 5 pick. Antetokounmpo will not be a net. The Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals when you wanted us to fail and fall flat on our faces, farther than you could do with your big three of Durant, Kyrie, Harden, when you had your shot. It is what it is, baby. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Knicks have a whole lot better future than you bums do, that's for sure. So you can tell me all what you want to tell me. You know the truth, bro. Have your moment in the sun, baby. The Knicks' future is a lot better than the Brooklyn bum-ass Nets. So enjoy the loss tonight. There's your championship, because that's as close as you're going to get. That's as close as you're going to get. Okay. Also, ask yourself, is there any net currently on the roster that gives you hope that one day you'll turn this around? Be real. There is none. Don't talk to me about Cam Thomas. Don't talk to me about Cam Johnson. All right? It is what it is. Enjoy. The Nets are ass. The Knicks, with a new core, got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Good luck hating on that for the rest of the summer, baby. Danny says Cat's knee really hindered him from exploding offensively throughout the play. Yeah, man. That knee injury, he clearly was playing with it. It affected him tonight. He really did not have a good enough game tonight. He missed a lot of shots he's been making most of the playoffs. Missed some free throws tonight. We know he's a limited defensive player as is. Just was not moving well. Just wasn't moving well at all. He didn't have too many of the dumb fouls tonight. He was playing more smarter with as far as with the dumb fouls that he gets every game, but he just did not defend well. He was not out there, playing smart. Again, why is Tibbs playing drop coverage with Cat? I don't understand it, but he was, and it cost him every time. And when you leave it up to Cat, defensively, as far as IQ, he's going to make mistakes. So you got to, as a coach, you got to do better and keep him out of those situations. And playing him in drop coverage, I don't get it. Cat issue is he has to become a better defensive player, especially IQ-wise, man. He's got to get better, and I hope he works on that in this summer, because offensively, he's unguardable. He's unguardable. He is basically the top big man in basketball as far as offense goes. He's the best shooting big, and he has gifts offensively that are tremendous as far as scoring. He's a good rebounder. He's an automatic double-double every night. He has to work on his defense. Good passer, a willing passer. Offensively, he has a very good IQ. The issue is defense, and I hope he's got a very good IQ and on offense and a good rebound. His issue is defense, I should say, is what I meant to say. He's got to work on that this summer. No doubt about it. Cliff says this season was good. First time team was put together. True, no depth, but we weren't buttoned up at times. Tibbs and Leon will get to work. No doubt about it. I have no doubt in my mind Leon Rose will figure this out. Now, let's be honest, y'all. Let's go back to the timeline with Leon Rose, okay? Now, I had issues with Leon Rose for the first year or two, because I wanted them to take advantage of opportunities that were out there with players available, okay? I was very outspoken of I wanted, if you've been watching this channel back at the time when Donovan Mitchell was on the trade market, I was very big time in wanting Donovan Mitchell to be a Knick. And when we signed Brunson, I felt like without Donovan Mitchell, this doesn't move the needle enough. Signing Brunson. I felt like Donovan Mitchell was the missing piece to get us over the top. Now, obviously, I'm very happy that Brunson basically became an even better player as a Knick. Obviously, I'm very happy about that. And Leon Rose, when he saw that this asshole Danny Ainge in Utah tried to rape trade him, he went to work. He figured out a way to beat Cleveland in the playoffs without acquiring Donovan Mitchell, and he got that done. Okay. We didn't beat Miami Heat in the next round. Unfortunately, Randall was banged up, and he said, all right, let me go figure out a way to compete with the Heat. He had a good team. He assembled the following season. They got to the second round. They lost to the Pacers when everyone got injured. It went 7 games. Everyone knew the Knicks would have beat that team in the playoffs last year, but they got injured. You know, they had a 2-0 lead in that series. OG got hurt. We already had no Randall. The war of attrition took over and cost the Knicks last season. So what did he do? He said the Celtics won the NBA title. He said, we know we can beat the teams like the Heat. We know we can beat the teams like the Cavs. We need to figure out a way to beat the Boston Celtics, us as being the New York Knicks. We need to figure out how to beat the champs because we know we can beat Indiana if we would have been healthy last year. We know we can beat the Heat. They were in transition. They lost a lot of talent. We know we can beat, Cleveland, okay, as they're fraudulent, as we saw and come out to see. We need to beat Boston. So what did he do? He assembled a team to beat Boston, and he did that. The Knicks beat Boston. They had the right team out there to play them, and we got the job done. This offseason now, the Knicks have to figure out. Leon Rose's job now is he has to figure out, number one, fix the bench. Fix the bench. Listen, they did not get enough bench help because at the end of the day, when you make a trade and that kind of a trade, a blockbuster trade like that, 2 days before training game starts, there's just not a lot of options out there, y'all. That's just not a lot of options out there. So what happened? He went out there, he pieced it together with bums like Campaign, Shaman, who actually played well down the stretch of the season. And he got the job. They got the job done. They beat Boston. They beat them. Okay. Now they have to figure out the bench. They got to figure it out. Would love to get my guy DiVincenzo back. We'll see. But the Knicks have to address this bench. And number two, now the focus must be, how do we beat the Pacers? This is 2 years in a row now. They came up short against the Pacers. Okay. For whatever reason you want to give, the facts and numbers speak for itself. They did not beat the Pacers, and they have to get the job done against the Pacers. That's the agenda for this offseason. Bench improvement on the roster and beat the Pacers. And I am confident Leon Rose will figure that out if the opportunities are there. We will see how it goes. Then he says Tibbs should have challenged that Deuce McBride three-pointer that was called off because refs said Deuce was out of bounds. Clearly he wasn't, and I was pissed off about that shit. Thank you, Danny. Thank you for bringing that up. When I saw that in real time, I knew that was BS. And I'm saying, Tibbs, why didn't you challenge that? Why didn't you challenge that? That was a three-pointer made that they took off the board. Of course, the NBA refs do Knicks the dirty in some kind of a manner. You know they can't go entire game. Now, I'm not going to say tonight was on the refs. This series was inconsistent as fuck and trash, the way they called this series with the Knicks players. But I'll say tonight was, I won't put it too much on the refs. But that bullshit, that shit had me tight. I ain't even going to hold you. I was tight. And Tibbs, you got to make that. You got to do that. You got to do that, man. You got to do that. You got to make that challenge, man, because that 3-pointer went in. That's a swing right there. Good catch on that, Danny. I didn't want to make too much of it, but I'm glad you brought that up, man. I understand Josh Hart loves being aggressive, but he needs to really relax when he is pushing the ball up the court. That's how fast transition points by the Pacers are made and turnovers are caused. Yeah, no doubt. I just feel like when they made the change with the starting lineup, Josh Hart in those 2 games, he just was kind of forcing things too damn much. And now tonight, he didn't even wasn't even a big factor at all. It seemed like he just said, you know what, I'm not gonna play my game too crazy because I don't want to be the one to do too many turnovers. And effectively, it took him out of the game. He had no impact. He had no impact tonight. You know, look at his numbers here. In 21 minutes, he had 4 points, only 1 of 6 from the field. 6 rebounds. You know Harden's going to rebound. Only 1 assist and only 4 points. That's not enough. That's not getting it done. And I think Josh Hart, you know, it was a gamble to do that when the whole season he's been a starter. And again, I'll say it again. Adding the double big lineup and sending Hart to the bench is matchup dependent. I wish the Knicks would have did a little more this season of experimenting to get Josh Hart ready for that. And it just, listen, he's a professional. He suggested going to a lineup change. He's a professional team guy. I will always love Josh Hart for that. Hey, it just didn't work out enough. Going forward, the Knicks have to get him ready for that. I think Mitch has to be the starting center for most of the time against certain teams. Josh Hart has to do a better job in that. But again, I'll say this. They have to address the bench better in the offseason. And, wow. Hold on. I got to stop this. I got to stop my commentary real quick because I got a real interesting guy on the bench. Hey, wait, he left. Marino, if you're watching this, get back in here, man. I just saw you were there and I was going on. Okay. Hit that again, man. Hit that again, okay? I want to get you in. I was going on. I didn't see you were there. Get back in here. Hit that link, baby. Hit that link. Hit that link. Let me text him in here. Let me text my guy, man. You know what? I got to be fair because I've been calling this man out most of the season, and he has not been around. He has not been around. Of course, now he wants to show up when the Knicks are eliminated. Typical Marino. But you know, we're gonna give him his fame. Let me text him now. Let me see. Let me hit him real quick. Let me see. Let me get him back in. Anyone out there that know Marino like I do, let him know that I'm telling him to get back in. Okay, I didn't see him in there. I was going off on my point. I was just about to bring him in, and all of a sudden he left. So I just hit him up. Okay, so he just answered me back. We're gonna get him on the show. Listen, one thing about me, you know what? Hey, I'm fair with everyone. This is an open forum. This channel is an open forum for anyone to join. You can give your takes, even if they suck, even if it's a troll. You can give your takes. We can talk ball. This is about talking ball on this channel. I welcome anyone, man. I welcome everybody, you know, and I'm appreciative of anyone coming on the show, any podcast that I do to give input, as long as you're respectful. So listen, Marino, listen, he's a troll net fan. Just for anyone that don't know him, but we're going to give him his due. We're going to give him his shot to talk if he wants to get back in. I just let him know. He responded and said, all right, he's coming back on. So until we go on, let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. We'll go to – okay, Danny says, yeah, of course, we just addressed that with the turnovers, no doubt about it. Alexis Betcher says next year. Shout out to Alexis chopping it up on the show. Appreciate you stopping in. He says next year, the Cavaliers, the Celtics, Pacers, Pistons, and Nets are all going to have better teams. The Nets. Dude, are you really bringing the Nets in this? What did they do to make you feel like they're going to be better? But okay, I guess you're a Net fan if you're saying that. But let me let you finish your point. The Nets are all going to have better teams. My question is, how are the Knicks going to improve if we don't have much cap space for draft picks? Well, listen, that's up to Leon Rose to figure out. You know what I mean? There's always ways, guys. There's trades, things like that. And hey, that's up to him. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. We also have some young players on this bench that Tibbs needs to play next year. Okay? He needs to play these guys and help with the bench. That's how you get better. Okay, Tyler Kolek, he showed some promise in Brunson's absence this year. There's talent there that if you keep working with him, he can be a factor off the bench. Okay, Dadier has talent. He can score. We'll see how long it takes for him to develop to be in the rotation. Hukporti showed flashes as well. Okay, Shamet showed flashes down the stretch as well. And I'm not even a Shamet guy, but he showed flashes. He also contributed tonight. He gave some solid minutes. Tibbs has to do a better job with that. But I'm sure there'll be moves to make. If there's an opportunity out there, Leon Rose will take advantage of that. Let's hope we can at least get DiVincenzo back. We'll see going forward. But there will be moves to make in the offseason. It's up to Leon Rose to get that done. Let's welcome to the show, Danny. Danny, what's going on, brother? I know it's
what up, fam? It's a bad night for us, bro.
Yeah, it's a bad night, man. No doubt about it. No one ever wants to lose. No one likes to lose. No doubt about it. It sucks.
It was a hell of a season, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I want to focus to as well. We're gonna talk about tonight in the series and everything, but I don't want us to, as Knick Nation, to lose focus on how good this season was, how better days are ahead, man. This is not the same as, like, say, the Brooklyn Nets when they went for it all with the big three, with their age and everything. This isn't that kind of party. This isn't that, like, you know what I mean? Like this team, this nucleus just got together, and they're still young in their prime that they can grow as a team. This is their first year together playing as a team. And it showed a lot of times this season of inexperienced playing together that they got to figure out going forward. Okay? But it also shows the promise of the potential that they show that when they're right, they're amongst the elite teams. And you know what? Hey, let's keep improving on the roster with the bench. And if we get that together, and year two with more continuity with this roster in this lineup, man, sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, they gotta fix the bench. That's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Big time.
Because to face these teams like this, like the Pacers and Celtics, Cavaliers, top teams in the East, we gotta have a good bench.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think next year they should definitely keep Mitchell Robinson and Cat in the starting lineup, like the way it is now.
Yeah, well, I've always felt it's matchup dependent, but you could potentially really have something if they can grow with that lineup, man. I mean,
I love it like that.
I do too, because it balances us out a little more defensively and offensively, But the only thing that I worry about when it comes to that lineup is the injury-prone nature of Mitchell Robinson. That's the only thing that I worry about. And, Cat is so good offensively. He's unguardable, So if you can get Mitchell Robinson to be better, first of all, being healthy and show a pulse offensively, you got really something there, man. And can he work on his fucking free throws, please?
Please, yes. I hope so.
Figure it out, dude. Figure it out.
Because they're gonna do the hacker Mitch. They're gonna do the hacker Mitch next year. You know that.
That's the problem. I think that's one of the reasons that holds Tibbs back from using him as a full-time starter in this lineup most of the time. Is he knows the injury-prone nature of Mitch and his free throw shooting, because if you're not going to be an offensive threat, you got to at least be good at the line. And he's not either one of those two things. So it's tough, But one thing you cannot take away from a healthy Mitchell Robinson. When he is healthy, he's as good as any big rebounding that basketball, especially on the offensive rebound end. And it can be a dominant player in that faction on the glass. And that's if we can get that healthy Mitch and free throw shooting, hey, I'll take that.
You know who I missed that he could have been great for us in the playoffs would have been Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes, yeah. I mean, listen, based on what we had on that bench, I wouldn't mind a Grimes. Now, listen, there was a time where I think people were just going out of hand with Grimes, like if he was this great talent. And, I was always thinking he was limited to, like, to me, I saw a 6-man bench kind of guy when some people kind of thought he was going to be special and become a star. I don't see that from him, but this current team, he actually fits this current team a lot better than the other team that we had when he was here.
He would have gelled perfectly. Yeah,
I agree with that. I actually do. I do agree with that. And he showed some promise with Philly and this season with Dallas and all of that when he got traded and stuff and things. He showed that, hey, if you give him that role, he can be effective. He's gotten better as a player there. I would not. I believe he's a free. Is he a free agent? I think he's a free agent.
Not sure.
Let me look that up. Let me look that up.
Because I wouldn't mind getting him back either. Him and DiVincenzo.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me text Marino again. He's not. And he answered me, y'all. He answered me. And just so y'all know, let me put this on the chat so y'all don't think I'm BSing. Okay, this is me.
He got receipts.
Yeah, I got receipts, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that there, but this is me texting Marino, y'all. And I told him to come on. He said, all right, I'm still waiting, y'all. Okay, so if he doesn't come back, it ain't but nothing else. Okay, but let me double check.
Yeah.
Let me double check if Quentin Grimes is a free agent. I believe he is. If he is, I think the Knicks should see if they can bring him back for the right price. For the right price, though. I'm not trying to overpay Quentin Grimes. That's not me. I'm not in on that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So he's a restricted free agent. Okay, so he's restricted. So that's going to be a little tough. We got to hope that
same thing with DiVincenzo, right?
No, Devo is actually locked up for 2 more years, so the Knicks will have to trade for him. But they're in flux on that roster right now in Minnesota because, first of all, Randall's a free agent. He's out now, and he's going to test free agency. So we'll see if they bring him back. I look at it also as well. I can see them going after Kevin Durant or Antetokounmpo. If that's the case, those are some big salaries they got to move around. And I wonder if Devo's contract will be expendable and they might need to move them. Maybe the Knicks can get in on a 3-way trade or a separate deal. We'll see. But I can definitely see Kevin Durant or Antetokounmpo having some interest from Minnesota's end trying to trade him, especially Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant and Ant-Man have a nice little relationship. Ant-Man was very complimentary of him. And I saw today, was it today or yesterday? I don't remember, Danny, but I saw something about how the Timberwolves were actually very active at the trade deadline trying to get him from Phoenix at the trade deadline. So we'll see.
Trying to pair him up with Ant, maybe.
Yeah. So if you're doing that, KD ain't coming for peanuts. You're gonna have to pay him. His contract is like $52 million a year.
And him coming here, that ship has sailed. I'm sorry.
Oh no. You know what I said last time.
I know.
Nothing to do with Kevin Durant. Keep him away from MSG. He had his chance. He had his chance, and he didn't want this. He didn't want it. Don't come here now when we one of the elite teams. You stay over there. I don't want nothing to do with Kevin Durant on the other end of the age barrier as far as what he has left. Exactly. I'm not getting caught with that contract. No chance. Let's go to the chat.
T, what
T
up, bro?
checks in from Vegas, Hood Take. He says, year 1 of 5. Yeah, no doubt about it, bro. No doubt about it. We cannot dismiss the fact that this is a new core, and this is year 1 of that new core. And this new core, and this is what I keep saying, this new core is not 32, 33 years old.
Still young. Still young.
They're still young in their prime. So they're going to have time to get better as a ball club. They're going to have time to get better with more continuity. Again, they made the trade 2 days before training camp started. Okay? Yep. Still won 51 games. Okay? Still is the number 3 seed. Excuse me. Still the number 3 seed and still got to the Eastern Conference Finals by eliminating the world champion Boston Celtics. That should give all Knicks fans, as much as it sucks tonight that we lost and we're out of the playoffs and we didn't get to the finals, as much as it's going to suck for the whole summer knowing that we had an opportunity to get to the finals, it's still, we cannot dismiss the fact that this future is bright at Madison Square Garden. What do you think about that?
Oh, the future is bright, brother. I'm not worried about that, man. Leon Rose has formed this team that's it's gonna put butts in seats. It's gonna be entertaining,
right?
And it's gonna be very good for the next few years, man. I'm not worried, brother. I'm not worried.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all. I'm not worried at all. I trust Leon Rose.
I do too, man.
You know, I trust Leon Rose. I think he has proven that he knows what he's doing. The Knicks haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 to 26 years. Okay, we're not there this year. And when a lot of people thought we weren't, that's not me. I was one of the ones that was saying they were. My guy T. We all said, "Hey, they got a shot." Even when we weren't looking good against the good team, everybody, they can't beat no good teams. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's all about matchups in the playoffs. I warned everybody about that, and they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So listen, it just shows that the talent is there. They just have to figure it out to be more consistent and get over this hump. They have to now focus. I don't know if you caught my commentary early in the show, but they constructed a team. Leon Rose constructed a team to beat the Boston Celtics in this offseason, and he did it. And he got that done. But they need now to going forward to build a team to beat the Pacers.
Now it's the Pacers for sure.
Yeah, they have our number right now, and I hate it. It pisses me the fuck off because I know if Game 1 would have went differently the way it should have went.
Oh, Game 1, that's gonna be on our mind all summer.
It's gonna be on us the whole summer, and the Knicks have to use that as motivation to get them over that hump now. Because this is 2 years in a row, the Pacers have found a way to beat us. Okay, last year was about attrition; it was about health. We just was not healthy, and they squeaked by us in 7 because our team fell apart with injuries. But this year we blew that Game 1 and we didn't recover. We did not recover. It was an uphill climb, and we were clearly had the more talented team, but they had the deeper team, and it just. They have our number, guys. They have our number, and it sucks, and I hate it. I hate seeing that pencil neck geek run around, Halliburton run around like he did. He wasn't even him tonight. It wasn't him. He
wasn't that much of a fact. He wasn't that much of a fact, though. No.
At all. And they're gonna give him all the love like he did it to us tonight. It was not him. It was Siakam and the fact that we were sloppy with the ball. And our stars didn't play up their game tonight. That's why we lost. Okay. And everyone is going to try to run with him as the next Reggie Miller villain. All the guy is a fraudulent wannabe Reggie Miller. And I said that for the beginning. Let me just look at the box score real quick.
What's his stats?
Okay. Halliburton with the most quietest 21 points I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Now he want to score points when it's a double-digit lead with like 4 minutes.
Did you see that long 3-pointer he scored?
Yeah.
You have that's uncalled for. Come on, you're a douchebag for that.
Yeah, because he's a douchebag, but it's okay. You know what? He hits a lucky shot in Game 1 where the ball bounces like 4 times around the rim and drops in. He's throwing choke signs up and all of that. he gets locked down when Tibbs says, "Hey, maybe we should just actually like play tight defense on him." He waits till we're down 3-1 to actually say, "Let's do that." Whatever, store it for another day.
Right.
But now he has a no-show and a closeout game on the road in Game 5, and now he basically is basically in the backseat of the car on a closeout game at home, and he wants to act like he did it all himself. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Like real ball heads know. Real ball heads know.
Of course.
Okay, this guy is not as good as what people try to make him out to be, and the league knows that. Okay, and that's why they voted him the most overrated player in the league. That's why
he will. He's gonna get exposed. I'm telling you.
Yeah. OKC is gonna work them out, and they are gonna attack them. So crazy. And congratulations, NBA. You got what you're gonna have an NBA Finals. Nobody's gonna give two shits about. Okay.
Right.
You're gonna have NBA Finals where no one's gonna give a fuck.
Indiana. What kind of matchup is that?
Good luck with that. Whatever. Go have your little small market bonanza and shit.
I want to see how the ratings are going to be.
Oh, they're going to be atrocious. They're going to be atrocious, bro. Who's going to watch that? Who's going to watch it? The summer's here. The Knicks are out. Listen, people want to talk about Knicks fans and all that, about how sometimes they over the top and everything. But you know what? The NBA needs the Knicks fans, and they need the Knicks to be good. And
if we would have been in the finals, it would have been crazy.
It would have been nuts. It brings buzz to the game. It makes the league better. People would have cared. Okay, think about it. You got no Lakers, no Celtics. Okay, you got no Golden State. Okay, and you're gonna sell us OKC and Indiana. Good luck with that. I have no interest. Matter of fact, wake me up when the finals is over. Wake me up when free agency starts. Seriously.
If Minnesota would have, if Minnesota would have made it, it would have been a little bit more watchable. Maybe
a little bit. A little bit. But even if Minnesota was in it, it would have been as far as like, man, we really got to see Indiana and Minnesota. Like, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad ratings.
It should have been Minnesota and Knicks.
Yeah.
That should have been the ending right there.
I definitely agree. And I got OKC in 5. I'm just gonna let that.
I got OKC with a sweep. Fuck that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Bro. I'm only gonna give one game because we know the NBA don't like sweeps. We know that they don't like sweeps, especially in the NBA Finals. So you already know what
of course.
What they're gonna.
They'll give them one. They'll give them
one. They'll probably. OKC will take the first 2, and they'll give one of those first two games in Indiana. They'll give one of them to Indiana, and then it'll be a Rizzy. But sure. I mean, I have no interest in the NBA Finals going forward.
Yeah, me either.
And it's not just because I'm a Knicks fan. It's because
not a hater. It's not what
hating. Who gives a shit about OKC and Indiana? Good luck. I'm good. Let me know when free agency starts. Seriously.
For real.
Seriously. Yeah, I like this comment you made, bro. So now the $1 million all-season question is, do we fire Tibbs? If we do, I say a perfect head coach would be Mike Malone. Well, bro,
that's the guy I want. If we fire Tibbs, that's the guy I want.
Yeah. But you know something? He's basically a Tibbs clone, to be honest, if you really break it down. He doesn't play his young players. Yes, he won a championship. He won his championship, so I'll give him respect on that. But he's a Tibbs clone, bro. He does not like playing young players. He doesn't. And his rotations are short, just like Tibbs. I don't know if we want to get rid of Tibbs just to go there.
What about Steve Kerr? What about Steve Kerr?
Is he gonna leave?
I heard there were rumors that the Warriors might fire him.
I mean, if they fire him,
if we fire Tibbs, but I don't know.
I mean, if Kerr was to leave, I would definitely look into that. I mean, how could you not? I mean, I know Curry won't be here, but Kerr is one of the coaches that
his resume is top notch.
He's got a good resume, and offensively, that he would know what to do with the skilled players offensively that we do have. So yes, I would be all in on that. Honestly, I don't think Tibbs is going anywhere. I'm not sure if we should go there because I'm not sure if there's a better candidate, out there to do that. You know what I mean? Now, if something comes out that Kerr is out available, or Spoelstra's available, or Tyronn Lue's available, then okay, now I'm in on that because and you're talking to as much as I hate the Heat, Spoelstra's a great coach. I would love to have him. I don't think that's going to happen though. I think he probably most likely will. Pat Riley will never let him go. He'll probably move into the front office.
You know what would be a freaking Leon Rose move that would be under the radar if we fire Tibbs and then Leon Rose makes a phone call to Jay Wright. Be like, listen, you want to coach your boys again
That would be
or what?
crazy. Yeah,
you want to coach your boys again or what? Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be wild.
That would be wild, but would that shock you? Hell no. That definitely would not shock me, bro. The Villanova connection all over again. I mean, that's I don't know if it'll work in the NBA because this is the NBA. This is not college. But as far as what can I see that being an option if they decided, you know what, we're gonna make a change? Yeah, I could definitely see that. No doubt about it.
Because I mean, listen, it'll be call him out of retirement. It'll be an enticing job, you know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Jay Wright, Minnesota. I'm sorry, not Minnesota, Villanova. Former Villanova head coach, college, 2 world championships with Jalen Brunson. I mean, I mean, it don't fit no better than that. Yeah, it don't fit no better than that. I mean, I could definitely see that. No doubt about it.
That's a sexy look right there.
Yeah, It would definitely generate buzz. That's for sure. That's for sure. It would definitely generate buzz. But honestly, I don't think Tibbs is going anywhere. I think, but mostly because he got to the Eastern Conference Finals. This team has not been there in 25 years. And I just don't think the options out there are really great. You know, I don't know, man. Now, you're telling me Tyronn Lue, and again, Tyronn Lue, Spoelstra, guys like that, I'm all in on that. No doubt about it. I'm all in on that. Jay Wright is an interesting name. That is a very good point that you made there, Danny. No doubt about it. But I'm not sure if Leon Rose is ready to do that for Jay Wright. You know what I'm saying? Just because it will be very risky to do that with a college coach who has never done it on this level. So
it is risky, though. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a little risky there. But would it surprise me? Hell fucking no. Hell no. We see the Villanova ties on this franchise.
Just a connection, baby. Just a connection.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Listen, it's something to monitor. It's something to monitor. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Cliff says, now Lulu showing up. Unbelievable. Laughing my ass out loud. Well, very believable, actually, clown. LOL. Just kidding. Welcome, Ramiro. Yeah, we know he was just waiting for the Knicks to get eliminated. That's what he was waiting for. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he didn't have any interest in coming on this show. I've invited him 1,010,000 times to come on the show during the season. He declined. You know, for whatever reasons there were, he didn't do it. The entire playoff run, didn't do it. Now we're eliminated. He comes into the studio, and right when I'm about to add him, he left. And as
he teased you a little bit. He teased you.
Yeah, he a little tease, you know, whatever. I text him, and again, okay, I text him, and I'm going to show y'all right now.
No response still.
He said he was coming on. He said he was coming on, and he did it. He still has not come on yet. I don't know if you think I'm staying up till 2 a.m, but I told him this is our conversation right here.
Now is the time.
Here, y'all. Right here. As you can see there, he said, all right, after I told him, come on. As you can see that. He didn't come back. So we're waiting. Let's see what happens. Most likely, we know he ain't going to come back. He ain't going to come on.
But listen, bro, I mean, it's unfortunate we came up short. But listen, it's always going to be orange and blue skies, brother, no matter what.
Orange and blue skies, baby.
No matter what. This team, they made us proud. You know, we came up short, but they made us very, very proud. We can't fault them for that. So they did their best.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. They made us proud. They accomplished something they haven't done. Listen, and this is why, you know, haters and other fans in different fan bases and whatever you want to call them, they say, hey, look at them celebrating the way they celebrate everything. You don't understand, okay, guys? You guys don't understand what it has been like being a Knicks fan the last 25 fucking years, okay? All right? Y'all don't get it. They have been bad for most of it. And when I say most of it, I'm not saying like 8, 6, 7, 8 years. I'm talking
In a
about
while.
15 of them years basically were bad, bro. Okay, bad. All right. So you're talking about a franchise who is one of the in the 90s and early 2000s, one of the premier league franchises in basketball and fell off a cliff to the point where they were embarrassing all the time and were the laughing stocks. And this in the younger crowd, the younger generation Knicks fans have never seen them be good at all. I'm at least fortunate, you're at least fortunate, Danny, that we have seen the 90s version of this team, the early 2000s of this team.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay, a lot of this young Knicks generation has not seen anything good. The best they've seen was the Carmelo Anthony years.
The Carmelo Anthony days, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, pretty much.
And they were solid years, but we were never to the point where we're at right now. You know what I mean? Because number one, the management was not good enough. They didn't build a team good enough around Carmelo. Okay,
it was so toxic. Oh my god,
it was toxic.
Oh my god,
you know, Phil Jackson, the whole shebang. They are not seeing anything better than what they seen this year. Okay, so for anyone out there that's gonna complain, oh, listen, this this shit needs to get destroyed and blown up. We didn't get You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Hey, this was a good season and a big time building block. Okay, first year of a new core, and you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Listen, and I'm not saying that they're as good as the Miami Heat, big three of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. But in their first year, they got to the NBA Finals and lost to Dallas, to Rick Carlisle's team. Okay, to Rick Carlisle's Dallas Mavericks. Okay, and they used that as a springboard to become what they became as one of the best teams in this era of the whole super team era or whatever. Yeah. But
that's what we could do right now. That's what we could do.
We can do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Now the new salary cap tax aprons make it very difficult for teams to have a super team because of those structures now, unless your star players take less money to make it work. And that's what Brunson did already. Okay, he did that. He took less to make it work. And now we have a solid fucking team, y'all. We do. We got a solid nucleus. Let's add to what we have, y'all. Let's let Leon Rose cook, okay? It sucks. No one likes to lose. It stinks if don't feel good. But one thing we can't take from this season is we are on the rise. We are going to be one of the best elite teams going forward in the Eastern Conference, and we got a lot to look forward to because Leon Rose is going to figure something out to improve this roster. He's done it every year since he's been here. Okay, let's take care of that bench, y'all.
That's it. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do.
Yeah. Checking in the man cave salute, bro. Damn, shaking my head with the loss in free agency. The Knicks should go after Tyus Jones, another point guard with straw ball handling to take pressure off Brunson and try to sign Beasley from the Pistons. All right, listen, I would like those moves. Those will be some
Beasley's nice.
Solid moves, man. Malik Beasley really annoyed me being on the Pistons.
He was a pain in the ass. Oh, my God.
He was a pain in the ass with the shimmies and, acting like, whatever. But
he's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a player.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's a good player, and he could definitely fit this team what they need off that bench. I like that. Tyus Jones, another nice idea right there, man. Cave. I like that. That's a good move. Good solid point guard. But honestly, I don't know if he is really that big a factor to get more than Malik Beasley because I like Tyler Kolek. I really like Kolek, bro. I want to see this guy. You know what I mean, Danny? Like, I want to see this guy get in minutes next year. I want to develop him, man. I really like what I saw from him in his time.
I wouldn't mind Austin Reeves either, but that'll be a long shot.
Yeah. I would love Austin Reeves, but you know what the problem is Austin Reeves is a lot tougher to acquire, you know, and the Lakers are going to try to use him as a pawn to get a bigger piece, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from what I read. The other day when you brought that up, I did a little digging to what
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing what the Lakers are talking about out there with beat writers. They're talking about
Yeah.
Reeves isn't on the trade block unless it's to bring in a top star to play with LeBron and Luka next year. So
Oh,
it's gonna be tough.
they trying to do a big three.
Yeah. They're trying. Yeah, exactly. They're trying to maximize, you know, what they have before LeBron's over. You know, I could honestly see LeBron last year, next year. I could honestly see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I definitely can see that. So I think they're gonna give one more last run for LeBron next year with now a whole full season with Luka together, and they're looking to add to that. So we'll see. You know, we'll see going forward. I would love to have Reeves for this bench, but I don't think it's attainable. Right now. I don't think so. I don't think so unless it's some kind
Mm-hmm.
of blockbuster three-way
Three-way
trade.
trade. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the Knicks get involved and help the Lakers get some big-time player, and they get Reeves back. Like it'll have to be something like that. So we'll see. We'll see going forward. Cliff says Luru needed tonight to
Oh
take
my
his mind
God,
off the
bro.
Yankees
Yeah,
tonight.
me too,
Oh
bro. Oh my.
shit, yeah.
We
So,
got our
what
asses
happened? The
kicked.
Yankees lost tonight. What happened?
Look at that score. Just look at the score, bro. Yankees and
Okay.
Dodgers.
You know I'm a Mets fan, but
I
I'm gonna,
know that.
I'm gonna
I
check
know you.
it.
I know.
Honestly, I haven't
Just
been
look at that score. That's
looking.
what we're
They're
crying to
playing
you.
the Dodgers this weekend, right? They're playing
Oh
the
yeah.
Dodgers. I know they lost a tough one last night to the Dodgers. Let me see.
Oh, we lost another tough one today.
Oh man, let me see here. The Dodgers, Yankees. Let's. Oh Lord,
You see
damn.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
Yee.
Yeah. Exactly.
Shit. Oh
Yeah, bro.
man. Listen, I ain't even mean to
They
even sound like
they
I have
bent
not known.
they bent us over and went like
Damn. It must have been an Otani game, wasn't it? Oh
it
God.
must yeah.
I can't stand the Dodgers, bro. I really can't. You know, listen, I'm a Mets fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the Yankees. I don't hate the Yankees, but of course I'm a Mets fan, so I'm not gonna like the Yankees. I hate the Dodgers, bro. I hate them with a
They're
passion. I've
despise
hated
you.
the Dodgers since the late 80s, bro. Like that's
Mm.
90s. I hate the Dodgers, bro. I'm an OG. I go back
Yeah.
then. I hate them, bro. I hate these motherfuckers. I really do. I hate the fact that the league just sucks them all. No Diddy.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, the way they do with Otani all the time. I felt like as great a year as Otani had last year, I felt Lindor should have won that MVP because of the context of the award. You know, they gave it to a DH, a great player playing DH the full season instead of, you know, that had two other MVPs on the team that would have won 100 games without him even on the team over
Right, right.
Lindor, who basically carried the Mets last year to an improbable run in the play. Like it's a lot there. I hate the Dodgers, bro. I just do. And then we lost to them in the NLCS, so you can imagine.
Of course, yeah.
Let's see here. Muncy had 2 homers. Let me see. Oh, so Otani didn't go yard tonight. I don't think it doesn't look like he did. He had a couple of hits though. Yeah. So
Are
yeah,
you going to any of your Mets games this year?
I'm not sure. I might attend some more likely in August or September, maybe like
Oh,
during
okay.
that time.
Gotcha.
Right now I don't have any tickets. You know, I'm a little farther out now, so I
Yeah.
just haven't gotten any tickets on that. They've been a hot ticket. They've been tough to get. Their prices got a
Mm-hmm.
little hike, you know, after the solo deal.
They got up there. They got up there.
Yeah, so I've been kind of like playing it, you know, playing it by ear, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll try to get out there sometime in August. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
see how it goes. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Let's see now. Remy, welcome to the show. Josh Hart ass. Get him out of here.
Damn, Remy, tell me how you really feel.
Damn. Bridges also.
Wow, and Bridges.
Well, listen, as far as Josh Hart goes, Remy, well, first of all, shout out to Remy. Thank you for stopping by the show. I appreciate it. You know, welcome to the show. Josh Hart, I'll tell you what. He was asked tonight. I'll say that. He was asked tonight, no doubt about it. He was. He had a bad game tonight, no doubt about it. I mean, you go 1 for 6 from the field in a closeout in a crucial game like that, it's not good. I honestly, and score only 4 points. I honestly think Josh Hart, he tried to do too much since they did the lineup change. I think he was just pressing too much during this time. You know, the last game he played okay. You know, he had a double in game 5. Some turnovers he got to work on. In the game before that, he was brutal with the turnovers. Just brutal with the turnovers in game 4. I think he just was out of his element. You know, he tried to do a move for the team, and it didn't work out. One thing I'll say, Josh Hart will figure it out. Give him time. Give him time. No one plays harder. No one plays more for the team than Josh Hart. Give me 9 more Josh Harts on the roster, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a good team. Okay,
he needs to work on his shooting too, though.
He does. It's never been his strong point. He has to work on his consistency shooting the basketball from outside.
Yeah,
that is the only element that keeps him from becoming an all-star player. You know, he's the best rebounding guard in basketball. Okay, he plays defense. All right, he's tough in transition. He's a good finisher. The problem is he's not a consistent outside shooter. He's got that early Marcus Smart inconsistency from three-point land. If this man ever gets that together, he is going to be one of the best guards in basketball because he does everything else well. He doesn't do everything great, but he does everything well. That is his Achilles heel. And if he could ever get that down, man, watch out. Watch out.
Speaking of Marcus Smart, I wouldn't mind him coming to the Knicks next year.
Yeah. I mean, if they buy him out, I mean, like, what did he play?
He'll be cheap. He'll be cheap.
I think he went to Washington, right? Wasn't he traded
went
to the Wizards? I know he don't want to stay in that bum ass team. So if he
I wouldn't mind him over here, bro.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him at all. I mean, he fits Tibbs. He fits
here, bro. Perfect.
So he would be a solid find, no doubt about it. I take him in a heartbeat, man. I take him in a heartbeat. This is going to be a really interesting summer based on what I've been reading. You know, there's going to be some player movement in this summer, and you know, of course, the big domino is Giannis Antetokounmpo. What is he going to do? Is he going to stick it out and stay in Milwaukee, or is he going to want to get moved? If he wants to get moved, it's going to be the summer of Giannis. That's what it's going to be. And we all know Kevin Durant is going to get moved as well. The tea leaves have already shown he's out.
He ain't staying over there. He ain't staying over there in Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is making a decision, and they're going to choose Booker over him, and rightfully so. They should. You know, Booker's been the longer tenure player. He's the younger player. You know, I think that's where they should. That's the direction they should go. So, you know, KD, he wants to win. You know, he wants to win somewhere. So you know how it is. Once he gives you a couple of years and he doesn't see anything going, he's going to want to get out.
He's going to be out. Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, it's their time now. So I could definitely see that happen. So I think the 2 players to watch are Giannis and Kevin Durant in that order. Once Giannis figures out what's going to happen with him, look out. Look out. And the Knicks are going to have an opportunity to pounce on one of these good, solid role player finds if those opportunities happen, because everyone's going to be all in on Giannis, all in on Kevin Durant, trying to get those guys. And meanwhile, when that happens, one of those real solid to good role players that the Knicks need for this bench might be available. Who will it be? We will see soon this summer, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun, bro. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Just keep KD away from the Garden, please. I don't want nothing to do with it.
That ship has sailed.
I will be very upset. I'll be very upset.
Imagine, bro. Imagine. Oh my God.
Oh my God, man. And it's not like he'll come here cheap either. So it does not make any sense. I am not blowing this roster up for Kevin Durant old ass. I'm not doing it. No. Again, he had his chance. He didn't want this. He didn't want it. He wanted to go hide in Brooklyn. Okay, so no. No, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing the hot girl who was the prom queen when she was in her prime.
All right,
Uh,
yeah.
Now looking to go with the dude she turned down 4 years later, where she got 2 kids with 2 different baby daddies. Fuck out of
Nah,
here. Let
nope.
them stay out there. No, stay away from it. Stay away. Stay away. I'm not with
For
that.
sure. For sure.
Cliff says, I love this
No,
Knicks team. My favorite sports franchise. I keep hoping someday they'll give me one. It's still orange and blue skies next season. No
absolutely.
doubt about it, man.
Absolutely.
Listen, we're as close as we've been in a long time. In a long time. And again, it sucks. It sucks, that we didn't get it done this year, but we got a lot to look forward to. We just gotta do the necessary. We gotta trim the fat. That's all. Trim the fat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trim the fat. This core, you can win with this core. We got to trim the fat. That's all. That's what we got to do. And I'm looking forward to the summer to seeing what the Knicks do in that department. So real quick, we're gonna talk about real quick about how the game went. My turning point of the game was the third quarter. Again, the
Mm-hmm.
third quarter of doom. The Knicks just did not come out, solid, focused, and playing mistake free in that third quarter. Too many turnovers led to too much transition points, and they were outscored 34-23 in that quarter.
Yes.
And that changed the game because the Knicks were right there. They were down, 4.5. They were right there. And it was a similar carbon copy to what happened in game 4 in Indiana a couple of games ago, where they were right there in halftime. And in the third quarter, they just came out sloppy and it cost them. And then the lead just kept expanding and it just got too far out of hand for them to hang out. And they couldn't get stops. They just could not get stops tonight. And it cost the Knicks, especially transition defense. It cost them big time. And that's what they want. That's what the Pacers want to do. They want to run. They want to push pace. That's what Carlisle wants. He knows that this team, the Pacers, cannot sustain half-court offense for an entire game. So that is what they try to do, and the Knicks play right into their hands, man.
Yeah, they really, you can't play pace of basketball. You can't keep up with them.
No,
That's not who the Knicks are, you
no, you
know?
got to be who you are, man. Yeah, you got to be who you are, and they didn't do that. They just didn't do that, and they
They got
fed.
tired out quick.
Yeah, they did, and another thing is, let's be honest, Cat and Brunson did not play good enough tonight. They
No.
just didn't give us what we have gotten from them for most of this series, and it came at the wrong time. They just had a bad game tonight. Brunson, too many turnovers. He did not shoot the ball what we are used to seeing him from. I mean, let's look, Cat. Let's look at Cat's numbers tonight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Cat's numbers tonight. Okay, he had 22 points and 14 rebounds. Hey, Cat did what he could. He did what he could playing injured, but he only shot 8 of 19. And the biggest problem for him was he was 0 for 4 from 3, and he was only 6 of 10 from the line. So he got to the line 10 times, but he only converted 6 free throws.
He missed a
Not good
few.
enough.
Yeah, he missed a few.
Not good enough. And 0 for 4 from 3, hey, not good enough. He did what he could. He gave us a solid double-double. He was, our best, basically besides OG, our best offensive player tonight, but statistically, it was very difficult for him tonight. It was very difficult tonight. He's been the most unguardable player on the court in this series between the two teams. But tonight it came more difficult and it just did not work out for him. It just didn't work out for him.
One thing about Jalen, I wanted to bring up about Jalen.
Yeah.
I know he wants to when he sees our team down, he really wants to take over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
But he has to understand he does not have to do it all alone.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I understand. I see that on the court. Every time I see, yeah, exactly. I see that about him. I see his body language. Like when he sees we're down, he wants to take over. Like it's just him on the court. And
Right.
I understand it, and I love that about him. But sometimes you have to not that I'm saying that he doesn't trust his teammates, but you have to sometimes be second fiddle.
Right.
Sometimes.
Right. You gotta go with what's working. You gotta keep the team engaged. If
Yeah.
you're gonna play that way, you got to keep them engaged. You can't just hold the ball, in a couple of possessions in a row down to when it's like 8 on the clock, and then make a decision to either kick it out or take the shot. You gotta move the ball. You gotta look for the better shot. You gotta look for those things, And if you have the matchup, so be it. But you can't make it to the point where you make the defense too easy to defend us. That's the problem. You do that.
Yes.
You make it too easy for the defense to defend us, and that is what he has to do. And Brunson, JB, he's Captain Clutch. He was the clutch player of the year. You know what I mean? So obviously, when you're a superstar and it's your team, you're gonna feel like you gotta carry your weight. And in certain situations, you're gonna feel like you gotta carry more weight than you should. But you gotta know when to balance it, and that did not happen enough in this series. It just did. It doesn't mean he's a ball hog or none of that.
No, not saying that. Not saying that at all either.
Yeah. That some people like to moronically throw out there. No, it does not mean that. Name me a star player that does not, carry the load in these situations, especially when their team is down. Okay, stop. At the end of the day, there's a balance you got to find, especially in the position he plays. And in a couple of games in this series, he just couldn't find the balance. And one of those games was tonight. Okay, one of those games.
He got double teamed a lot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And when those happen, now at the end of the day, when that happens and he does feed people, they got to make those shots. Mikal, you got to make those shots. There's times that Mikal just does not consistently make his shots. OG sometimes has games where he doesn't consistently make those shots. So maybe that plays a part in why sometimes, Captain Clutch thinks maybe he should do a little more on his end. But that will come. That will come with time playing together and things like that. Tonight, Brunson was not good enough tonight. 19 points, only 19 points, 8 of 18 from the field. That's not a good percentage for him. Yes, he had 7 assists, so he did not, just go balls to the wall. But there was plenty of times during this game where he just turned the ball over at the wrong time and, held the ball a little too long in the clock. I don't know whether he was kind of, I don't know whether he was just kind of confused with what the Pacers were trying to pull on. I don't know what it was. But I just feel like this was not Brunson's finest hour tonight. And he's going to be kicking himself tonight over the summer why he played this way. And listen, he's going to figure it out. We know this will motivate this man even more. No one works harder in this league to be a better player than Jalen Brunson, okay? I have no doubt in my mind he will figure this out and learn from this. He
got his pops there. He got his pops there, so he good.
Yeah, he does. You got he's got to do that. You know what I mean? He's got to figure out with this group, with this core group, he's got to figure out over the summer and next season how to balance the taking over, being the superstar that leads to keeping the team engaged so that way they can reach their max potential as a team, especially offensively.
Yes.
So I expect Brunson to focus on that this summer, no doubt about it. Also another bugaboo here with the Knicks, the free throw shoot, abysmal.
Yeah. It was bad.
And that's what cost them game one and ultimately cost them this series was free throw shooting. I mean, you got to make your free throws. You got to make your free throws. They're fucking free. You got to make them. You got to make them, man. In the playoffs, you got to make them. You can't get away with. You can get away with that shit against the Wizards. You can get away with that shit against the fucking Charlotte Hornets. You're not going to get away with that in the playoffs. In game one, the Knicks shot 28 of 40 from the free throw line, and it cost them. All they had to do, and especially late when they were trying to hold off that rally that the Pacers had in regulation before the lucky 4-bounce shot by Halliburton happened, all they had to do, all OG and Cat had to do was win one more free throw, and it cost them the game, and it ultimately cost them this series. Tonight was the worst free throw shooting game they had since game one. And look what happened with the
it was
results.
abysmal. It was abysmal. Yeah.
17 or 26 from the line. That's abysmal. Cat 6 or 10 from the line. That's not enough. That's not getting it done. I mean, that's not getting it done, man. 6 or 10 from the line. What else here? There's a lot of guys that just did not get it done, at the free throw line, and that ultimately cost them, and you can't have those things. You cannot have those things.
Not at all.
And also, the Knicks were bad from the three-point range as well tonight. They were 9 of 32 from three.
Wow.
That you can't shoot 9 for 32. Now, a lot of that also was they were trailing and they felt like I guess they wanted to put up more threes. They didn't have that tonight. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And OG was probably their most consistent player tonight. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, good defense. Listen, OG has some inconsistencies in this series. I feel like there was something going on with that hammy from the last round. He's been playing with a leg sleeve for most of the series. Tonight was his best night. And, he played good defensively for the most part the entire series. He was our best player tonight. I feel like consistent player tonight. What I want to see from OG in the offseason is I want more consistency offensively from him. I want more consistency. I want him to work on getting to the free throw line a lot more. There's times that he, when he gets into that paint, he's unstoppable, man. And, I want him to start making the refs call more fouls in his favor. Some of it's not his fault because the refs are, they just get beat up.
The refs going to be the refs, bro. You know that.
Yeah. But I want him to consistently figure that out. His three-point shooting has been much improved this season, I thought. And it wasn't just corner threes from him this year. He actually expanded his three-point shooting bag a lot better this year, and I want him to continue doing that. But I want to see more from him figuring how to get to the paint more consistently. There's been a lot of times that he has those games, bro, and he's getting to the paint at will, and he's unstoppable. But then there's these games where he gets to the paint, and then he gets covered in there, and he gets his face, and all of a sudden he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know whether he's got to pass out or he just falls to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Like he calls a turnover, yeah.
He causes a turnover or something like that. He's got to be more decisive in the paint when he gets that deep in there and know, hey, I got to finish this thing. And if they call foul, so be it. But I can't be, being indecisive in there. Let's see what he does. He did a good job this year improving from his three-point range. Let's see him do that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. So, hey, that's going to wrap it up tonight, y'all. That's going to wrap up the season. And, hey. yeah. Oh, man, yeah. It's a tough one, y'all. It's a tough one, y'all. It's a tough one. It sucks to lose. Nobody wants to lose. Not at all. Nobody wants to lose, but this is our destiny, y'all. And you know what? We got to figure out going forward how to get over this hump. It was a great season. I don't want to shortchange that. The wound is fresh right now. So obviously we still that patch is still bleeding, and it's not we're not going to want to accept that right now. But we cannot lose the facts of the matter of being that we had a great season this year. They advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, first year with a new core, okay, and knocked out the Boston Celtics, the defending champions. So a lot to build off of that. It sucks to lose, but we have to find a way next season to beat the Indiana Pacers. They are. Boston Celtics were the top dog. They were the ones we aimed at. They were the ones that we had that scope on the entire summer. Okay, Leon Rose, he had that the way it was. He built the team to beat Boston. Well, we know now we can beat Boston. We got to now figure out how to beat the Indiana Pacers. That is the ops. That is the number one ops and obstacle going forward for this team to get over the hump. Now, we all know there's a lot to be decided over the summer to how teams are going to improve. We got to see how Antetokounmpo, where he goes, KD, and all of that. But as of today, the Indiana Pacers are the number one target obstacle the Knicks have to figure out how to beat. As much as it sucks, I hate it. I'm an OG Knicks fan, y'all. As you watch this channel all season, you know the OG Knicks fan show, OG Knicks fans over here. I hate the Indiana Pacers, but the facts are the facts. They are the ops. They are the one that has our number. We got to figure out a way in the offseason this summer to close the gap and get over that hump to get to our destiny where we need to be. So, Leon Rose, it's up to you to figure that out going forward. So that's going to do it. Danny, any last words for the show?
Well, man, I want to just say, man, we had a fun season.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was
nothing
fun
to hang our head about. You know, we got good players, we got good core. We just got to, like you said, improve the bench. And then we'll see. We'll go from there. But this team has a bright future. I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I really feel like the Knicks are in a good place. They're in a better place than they were the last 4 years. I think that there's a lot there to work with, and I think there is a lot more to do. And at the end of the day, listen, Leon Rose, man, he's got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He's got to figure out. Yeah, better luck next year, Corey. Yeah, better luck in 8 years for the Brooklyn Nets. Because y'all gonna be asked for the next half decade. But thank you for that, bro. But all seriousness, you know, the Knicks have to figure that out. They have to figure out how to beat the Indiana Pacers going forward. And you know, as much as it sucks, this is the reality. They have to figure that out. You know what I mean? Bottom line. So thanks to everybody out there all season out there joining me and my fellow compadres on the OG Knicks Fan Show. Thank you to Knick Nation for chopping it up with me all season. It's been a fun year. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Knick Nation. And for those that are new to the channel, I ask one thing from you. Smash that like. Smash that subscribe button to Born for Sports. Come on. If you're a big-time Knicks fan, this is the channel you want to stop by and keep locked in and tuned in going forward. If you are a Knicks fan of all ages, whether you're a young Knicks fan or OG Knicks fan like myself, if you're a Knicks fan just getting started, we welcome it all. Salute to you. This is the channel for you if you want to just talk basketball, Knicks basketball. And hit that subscribe button because guess what, folks? I don't just talk Knicks basketball. I talk all sports. As you can see, big-time Knicks fan, big-time New York Giants fan. Right over here, y'all. Hey, OTAs is happening. The season is creeping up. Little
by little.
Little by little, Danny. Little by little. We are in officially, as of today, 12:46 a.m., we are in June, 1 month away from training camp starting. We're getting closer to that. I talk New York Mets baseball. Hey, the Mets tied for first place right now as they got a couple of wins on the bum-ass Colorado Rockies, doing what good teams do, beating the teams you're supposed to beat. Hey, I talk it all. I talk New York Yankees. I talk New York Jets. I even mention sometimes about the Pez Nets, Brooklyn Nets. I talk about whatever you want to talk. Sometimes, just a little bit. I talk about whatever you want to talk about, folks, in the world of sports, especially New York sports. Shout out to Knick Nation. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to everybody who chopped it up with me this season. See y'all soon with content on the Knicks. Let's see what happens this summer. Like and subscribe to Born for Sports. Let's go, Knicks. Salute.